Welcome to our guide on corporate compliance in Nigeria. We're talking about the nuts and bolts, the do's and don'ts, the how not to end up on the wrong side of Nigerian regulators of doing business in Nigeria. In this video, we'll walk you through the essential steps to ensure your business operates legally and successfully in Nigeria. Think of this as your crash course, your cheat sheet, your I didn't come all the way to Nigeria to get bogged down in paperwork guide. So buckle up, grab a ridiculously oversized mug of coffee, and let's dive in. All right, let's start with the basics, shall we? Imagine trying to build a house without a blueprint. Well, operating a business in Nigeria without understanding the regulatory landscape is pretty much the same thing. First things first, you need to identify the regulations relevant to your specific industry. This isn't a one-size-fits-all situation. Nigeria has a whole host of regulatory bodies, each with their own set of rules and regulations. You've got your heavy hitters, the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. The point is, you need to do your homework. Figure out who regulates your industry and what they expect from you. Ignorance is not a defense. So you've wrapped your head around the regulatory landscape. Congratulations! Now it's time for the fun part, dealing with bureaucracy. First up, company registration. This is where you make your business official in the eyes of the Nigerian government. You'll need to choose a company name, define your business objectives, and provide a whole host of documents to the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC. And remember those regulatory bodies we talked about? Yeah, depending on your industry, you might need to jump through their hoops as well. Once you're registered, you might need licenses and permits to actually operate. This could be anything from operating licenses to product-specific approvals. Taxes. The word alone can send shivers down the spine of many, the lifeblood of any government and the bane of many a business owner's existence. It's a necessary evil, some might say. But hey, it's how we keep the lights on, right? Without taxes, the infrastructure we rely on would crumble. And in Nigeria, tax compliance is not something you want to mess with. The rules are strict, and the penalties can be severe. First and foremost, you'll need to get yourself a tax identification number, or TIN, from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS. This is your first step into the world of tax compliance. Once you've got your TIN, the real fun begins, filing those tax returns. It's a process that requires attention to detail and a good understanding of the tax laws. Yes, it's that time of year again, or rather several times a year, because in Nigeria you've got your company income tax, your value-added tax, VAT, and a whole host of other taxes depending on your industry. Each one has its own set of rules and deadlines. The FIRS has ways of finding out, and trust me, you don't want to be on the receiving end of their attention. They are thorough and relentless in their pursuit. There are actually some pretty good reasons to be tax compliant in Nigeria. Beyond avoiding trouble, your taxes help build the nation. For one, it means you're contributing to the development of the country. Your taxes fund schools, hospitals, and roads. And two, it helps you avoid hefty fines, penalties, and even possible jail time. Staying compliant keeps you on the right side of the law and gives you peace of mind. All right, let's talk about the backbone of any successful business, your employees. They are the ones who drive your vision forward and make your goals achievable. Now, Nigeria has some pretty comprehensive labor laws in place to protect the rights of workers. These laws ensure that employees are treated fairly and with respect. And as an employer, it's your responsibility to know these laws like the back of your hand. Ignorance is not an excuse when it comes to legal compliance. First up, you need to register with the National Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF. This step is crucial for providing a safety net for your employees. This is basically a safety net for employees, providing compensation in case of accidents, retirement, or other unforeseen circumstances. It's a fundamental part of employee welfare. Then there's the whole matter of minimum wage, working hours, leave entitlements, and all those other little details that make up a happy workforce. These elements are essential for maintaining employee satisfaction. And don't even get me started on health and safety regulations. These are non-negotiable aspects of running a business. You need to make sure your workplace is safe, healthy, and free from any hazards. Regular safety drills and equipment checks are a must. Treating your employees right isn't just good business sense, it's also the law. Compliance ensures a harmonious work environment. Let's face it, we're not exactly winning any awards for environmental stewardship these days. But hey, every little bit helps, right? And in Nigeria, environmental compliance is taken seriously. So if you're planning on setting up shop in Nigeria, you need to get acquainted with the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, or NESRIA. They're the environmental watchdog, making sure businesses aren't turning the country into a toxic wasteland. One of the first things you'll likely need is an environmental impact assessment, or EIA. This basically assesses the potential impact of your business on the environment and outlines measures to mitigate any negative effects. Then there's a whole host of other regulations covering everything from waste disposal to air and water pollution. Let's just say you don't want to be on the wrong side of those laws. In the digital age, data is king, but with great data comes great responsibility. And in Nigeria, that responsibility comes in the form of the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation, or NDPR. Now, the NDPR is all about protecting the personal data of individuals. This means any information that can be used to identify a person, like their name, address, phone number, email address. Under the NDPR, you need to get consent before collecting any personal data, and you can't just use it for whatever you want. You need to have a legitimate reason, and you need to keep it safe and secure. Oh, and you might want to consider appointing a data protection officer, or DPO. They're like your data protection guru, making sure you're on the right side of the law. Think of them as your data guardian angel. Remember those regulatory bodies we talked about? The ones that make sure you're playing by the rules? Well, they like to drop by every now and then to make sure you haven't forgotten about them. Now, these audits and inspections can cover anything and everything from your financial records to your environmental practices. And trust me, you don't want to be scrambling to get your house in order when they show up. That's why it's essential to conduct regular internal audits. This way, you can identify any potential compliance gaps before the regulators do. And when the regulators do come knocking, don't panic. Just be prepared. Have your documentation in order. Be transparent. In the world of corporate compliance, documentation is everything. It's your proof, your alibi, your get-out-of-jail-free card. If it's not documented, it didn't happen. This means keeping accurate records of everything: your financial transactions, your employee data, your environmental impact assessments. And don't just stuff it all in a dusty filing cabinet somewhere. You need to have a system, a process, a well-oiled machine of documentation. Many regulatory bodies require regular reports on your activities. Proper documentation can save you a lot of headaches and potentially a lot of money down the line. Plus, it's a great excuse to buy a new label maker. Look, I'm not saying you need to be a legal eagle to navigate the world of corporate compliance in Nigeria. It's a complex landscape, and it can be overwhelming. But it certainly doesn't hurt to have a few experts on your side. These professionals can make a world of difference. Think of it like this. You wouldn't perform surgery on yourself, would you? Just like you trust a doctor with your health, you should trust experts with your business. The point is, sometimes you need to call in the professionals. Lawyers, accountants, consultants, and other specialists. These are the people who speak the language of compliance fluently. They understand the nuances and can guide you effectively. They can help you navigate the complexities of Nigerian law, ensure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, and generally keep you out of trouble. Their expertise is invaluable. Consider it an investment in your peace of mind, and potentially in avoiding even more costly penalties down the line. It's a proactive approach. That's time you could be spending on more important things, like growing your business, expanding your market reach. So there you have it, your crash course in corporate compliance in Nigeria. By following these steps, your business can achieve both legal and operational success in Nigeria. Stay informed, stay compliant, and ensure your business thrives in Nigeria's dynamic environment. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content.